I request Shri Matthew Joseph, CEO, Scoreline, for his presentation.
Morning, everyone. We had an opportunity yesterday also to speak about the contributions which we're going to make, the declarations which we made during the ISSK. We coming up with the stadiums and allied investments. So today I got a very interesting opportunity to speak on the learnings from the league. So basically, like when we thought of starting a league, we wanted to start a football league purely because, we got the rights for football in Kerala. So we conduct all formats of football right now in Kerala. Apart from that, we have a provision to set up the Kerala's official top tier league in the state. So when we started working on it, we realized that there are a lot of learnings which we can take from the world, and there are certain successful leagues. There are some leagues which have not done all that well. So we thought, we should go around the world looking at the leagues and learn the best practices out of that. Now, we realize that India has very few successful leagues. That's something which came up as a kind of a very big surprise to us, in the sense we thought many states would be doing many leagues, but when we looked at the numbers, we realized that there are very few successful leagues in India which is financially viable, both for the promoter as well as for the franchise owner or for the stakeholders in the company. So that was a bit of a worrying part. What we also realized is that something that works in cricket doesn't work in football, and likewise for many other sports also. So it's just not a copy-paste which can happen. Just because it's worked in cricket, it's going to work in football too. So another learning was what works internationally doesn't work nationally here in India. What works nationally doesn't work on a regional level. Even something which works on a regional level doesn't work, on a state level, it doesn't work on a district level. So it's so much of a hyper-local kind of an approach which you need to take to make a league successful, to have the right ingredients. So, that was another eye-opener for us, and we started working on that. So, designing a league is supposed to be highly creative. I feel that's my take, that it's a creative work, it's a very imaginative work, which needs a lot of inclusions from various parties, like the associations. Obviously, we need the academies to support. We need the players, the local players, to be there. We need the vendors to be there with us. So these are some of the key ingredients to make a league successful. Because the moment one of these agents are not present in the league, you will go through a rough patch sooner or later. Now I've got a small presentation, because this is something which I call it as the original league. There could be something which is more primitive than this also, but this is a typical photograph from the Gladiator movie. So that's what I call it as the original league. So the key learning I say here, as a league owner or anyone who wants to set up a league, what I feel is that if you can't win, then you become the dinner. And if you actually lose, if you actually win, you can have dinner with your family. And if you lose, you go on to become a dinner. That's true, because the moment there's something which goes wrong in a league, there are vendors, there are broadcasters, to sponsors, to the franchise owners, to the players, to everyone who would actually chase you up. So that's something which you need to all be careful about. That's our first learning. So let's not be the dinner. We need to have dinner with the family. So Looking at the successful leagues, we came across about 5 or 6 successful leagues, and I mean there are many of them, but in the world we've taken about 3 most successful leagues, and also in India some things, some certain leagues which have been running successfully. Now, each of this has got a distinct characteristic. Why this is successful, I've touched upon a few key points. Like, when we come on to the English Premier League, one of the most successful leagues, this is a league which originated a few decades ago, but this it didn't have the digital presence then. It was more on the television. So the major contribution they got in terms of to become successful was the language. So the franca lingua, which is lingua franca, which is basically the most acceptable language. English is the most acceptable language. So this is one key factor. The language held this league together. And that, the people who, I mean, since English is the most followed language and the spoken language in the world, this kept people together to look at the football and come together on the television. Now, this league has got a very pro-business environment. They always attracted the best investors from the world. This is just one of the photographs. The Newcastle team is owned by Sheikh Salman, the ruler of Saudi Arabia. So they have been very inclusive. They have looked at investments. So it's just not the language side, the presentation which happened on the television, but the investors they attracted were major investors from the world. So that's one of the largest investors there. Sheikh Mansour again from Abu Dhabi. He's been another investor into the EPL. Why I'm saying this is because they have been inclusive. They have been looking at investments coming in to make this league into a next level altogether. He is the CEO of the EPL. Yeah, so basically, as I said, it's the marketing, the language, the pro-business approach, what EPL has adopted to make them where they are as on date. The next interesting case study is on La Liga. Why La Liga is La Liga? So, their approach was something called Galacticos. Now, Galacticos, they had a very clear approach that they are going to get the stars of the world to come and play there. No matter how much ever they cost, they would bring in the best stars to come and perform there in the stadium, which attracts a lot of fans, a lot of viewership across the world. So these are some of the people who have been playing. The second approach what they had is called tiki-taka. It's called the total football, where they play in triangles. And it's a very swift way of playing, a very calculative method of playing. This tiki-taka was actually popularized, and the La Liga entire league practices the total football concept. So that's been a differentiator. Now when you look at the EPL, they're very aggressive players. When you look at the La Liga, you have more creative playings happening. So that's the difference which people liked. That, this is something which is more geometrical, this is more pass-oriented, this is more team-oriented game. That's what this league promoted. Now the third very important thing, which right now India is also facing, the ISLs and a lot of other tournaments, they face this issue of the right umpiring. The right kind of umpiring, if it doesn't happen, it upsets all the fans to everyone. One of the classic cases 2 years back with what happened with the Blasters and another team. So the fans were upset, and we don't know whose mistake it was, or whether it was right or wrong, but yes, it did happen. So here what they practice is a very fair umpiring in the league, and there are red cards issued to the players if they do not adhere to the league rules. So this is something which is a differentiator again. So the La Liga has got such different approach to the whole league, and it's a very humanistic kind of a game what they play there. Now this is Pro Kabaddi from India. It's been very successful in the last few years. In fact, one of our board member, our advisor, board member, very close friend of ours called Charu Sharma, he was the one who set up this. In the last few years, Star TV has invested with them. They hold now 76% of Pro Kabaddi. The valuations are over 900 crores. I'm sorry, I think that broadcast right is more than 900 crores. The valuations could be much different. So that's been one of the most successful leagues. This is because it's a very television friendly kind of a sport. It can be, assembled together fast. It's an indoor stadium. It can be done together. It's very colorful. And the most important thing is that it's very intense. Players, the action doesn't stop. It's start to the stop, it's continuous. So that's actually keeping the people glued onto the television as well as the people who are in the stadium. So that makes a whole difference. And we've all played this kind of game while we were in the school. So that makes it very interesting for us to also look into it when it's happening on the television or in the stadium. Especially for Kerala or many parts of the country where the weather is pretty harsh, this sport actually helps being conducted. IPL has been a total success story. That's, I think, one of the best leagues in the country. The best, in fact, in terms of numbers. The last rights for IPL broadcast was at 47,500 crores, out of which the digital had contributed about 23,000 crores and 24,000 crores was by the television Star Sports. So that's a kind of a number, and each franchise has been valued more than about 2,800% on what they have invested, except for the new entrants like Lucknow. But the Mumbai or the Chennai teams, everyone's got a valuation of more than 2,800%. Now, obviously what added to their success is the glamour factor, but the biggest learning what I saw, it was not the Shah Rukh Khans or the Preeti Zintas who were there. It was a very simple thing which was introduced by the then management of BCCI, which was which accepted to do the cheerleaders. So that actually attracted a lot of people into the stadium, and from there on they built it. But obviously they have a lot of stars like Shah Rukh's and all the best actors of our country supporting the teams. So that itself makes it big. The other thing about IPL is that it comes with stars, because we've been seeing the Virat Kohlis, the Dhonis always playing. So they're already big stars for us. So when they're on the ground, there are a whole lot of people who would want to come and see. Unlike football or a volleyball or a kabaddi, where probably the faces are not recognized, they are emerging or budding stars. So that's one drawback which the other sports have got. In cricket, they have always got their advantage. Obviously, it's a television-friendly format, the T20, which became easy to watch, short duration. What we realize now is that shorter the game, people are looking into the televisions more, or on the mobile phones much more than looking at a 1 day or a 5 day match. This also had entertainment packed with it. The Indian Super League, obviously Kerala has been a major contributing factor, and the learning is that the fans can make the whole difference. They have been extremely inclusive about their fans. They have built up the 4th largest fan base in the world. It's the 12th largest social media followed sites. So the numbers are huge when you look at the ISL, because of the support from Kerala. So it's completely a passion-driven market. So there's a huge learning that you can't leave the fans alone and build a league yourself, which doesn't happen in the rest of the part of the country as of now for a league like this. Bundesliga, again another concept where they have worked with fans for 50% of their stakes are given out to the fans. It's owned by the fans. And 1%, the deciding share, is with the fan again. Not 1%, one share. Whenever there's a tie, the fan decides the decision which way it has to be taken. So that's a very interesting model. So it's driven by the fans. So Saudi Pro League is another big success because of the stars what they have brought in. So in 6 months' time, they were like catapulted and into a different level altogether. Now, learnings from the league. This is something which we are launching now. By August 2024, Super League Kerala would be launched with 6 franchise team owners spread across Kerala. And that will expand. We will expand by the 3rd year to more locations. But year 1, season 1, that's starting this August, which goes up till about October. We will be having 6 franchisees contesting this this football league. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be the top league, the #1 league of Kerala. From here, they can grow into the second tier of I-League, and from there into the first tier of I-League, and then to ISLs, and the path is open. So we decided that we give out, it's a suggestion to the franchise owner. Finally, he is the one who has to take a call, but 25% of the equity will be held by the fans as of now. Second thing is, obviously, we have the patrons like the film stars from Kerala industry who support our league, and the team owners, because anyway the glam factor always helps in pulling the people into the stadium. Because we've realized one thing: the moment your stadiums are full, you have a happy sponsor, you have a happy broadcaster, you have happy players. So it's very important to keep the stadiums full. And we also wanted to get in with the concept of the tiki-taka total football. That's how we have tied up with Andres Iniesta, who is one of the finest footballers in the world. He's a Spanish footballer, and Andres Iniesta has been a great supporter of Kerala Super League. He has also promised to come sooner or later one day to Kerala. He's really a big star, so and he's right now playing with the Emirates club right now in Ras Al Khaimah. He was in Japan before. The fourth implementation, what we are doing is a 360-degree engagement by people. So basically, we have it's an entertainment-packed stadiums, where we do the film launches, we have music shows, we have DJs. So all that thing which helps the crowd come into the stadium. We are also having the veteran players as the front end of the league and the football club. We also have sister clubs like Boca, Benfica, and few other clubs which will do the front ending. As I mentioned, for a better fan experience. These are the sponsors we are looking at. And finally, what we realize is it should be something which is it should be a league which is owned by the people. Unless the ownership of people comes in, they will not, our league is not going to be successful. So that's the reason in the last 4 years, about 5 years now, we have trained over about 20,000 children. We have got 56 centers in the state, everyday training. Now we are committing ourselves with 8 new football stadiums, because unless the stadiums are there would not be enough of a place to practice or to have matches. So this is something which we are doing it for the people, so that they all become a part of the league. So we also have the great ambassadors who have, the veterans who have been with the football ecosystem and who have been great players. They would be visiting us. They would be involved as a face of our teams. As I mentioned, we are also tying up with some of the clubs, leading clubs of the world, like the Boca or some of the clubs from the Middle East. which will help us basically build this team. So this is what we are going to be looking at, the Super League Kerala, and we've started the first phase of the campaign, and soon we'll have the franchise launch, and we'll have the team launches and the drafts of the players and rest of all those things before August of this year. So these are the three venues where we will be holding. It's in Manjeri, that's in Malappuram, Kozhikode and Kochi. As of now, because of lack of good stadiums as of now, purely under floodlight. So we have three objectives. We engage the people. We have the evening matches, which makes it easy for people to come to the stadium. We have evening matches, engagement through that. And then we have, basically encashment of the brand, the sponsors and all those things, get better visibility during this course of playing. That's it. Thank you so much. And we seek your support for the success of our league. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shri Matthew Joseph, for your insights. Shri M.A. Baby, ex-minister, has joined us online.